Let's call this meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
I have a flag.
the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we did not receive any public comment, so we'll just move on to the item on our agenda. Which is that we have an opportunity this morning to reassign the ground lease of the International Skating Center of Connecticut. There's a group of local families that have come together to form an LLC in hopes of purchasing the facility. And since the town owns the land where ISCC is located, this board needs to approve the transfer of the ground lease. We have Town Attorney Bob DiCrescenzo with us. And Bob, hoping you could give a summary of where we are and the documents that are in our packet.
Sure. Under the ground lease, which was originally executed in 1994, the lessee of the ground lease, which is ISCC LLC, has requested approval of an assignment of the ground lease to BMW Sports LLC. This is not unprecedented. In fact, this is the fourth time that the ground lease has been. If this is approved, it'll be the fourth time this ground lease has been assigned. And the terms of the assignment language are found in Article 10 of the ground lease. And that Article 10 requires that the town approve any assignments, such approval not to be unreasonably withheld. What that means to us is that the town cannot impose additional terms and conditions on the assignment. And so long as the proposed assignment and assignee meet the requirements of the ground lease, the town really doesn't have much discretion but to assign it. But it does have discretion to evaluate and consider the assignee's financial wherewithal and ability to run the skating center. And towards that end, we have received and reviewed their business plan and also their 5-year budget projection. Which we have found adequate to protect the town's interests. There's no certainty to do anything in life, but at least at this point, it looks like this is a group that has the ability to operate the skating center over the long term, and also the financial wherewithal to operate it at least at a break-even point and perhaps at a surplus. The second approval that's needed before the assignee can put debt on the property is found in Article 7, which requires that the town review and approve any so-called permitted mortgage. And the terms and conditions of approval of the permitted mortgage are spelled out in significant detail in Article 7. The lender has to be an institutional lender, and the other conditions are found in the permitted mortgagee agreement, which we have provided to you. Now here, there will be two permitted mortgages eventually. The first will be Windsor Federal Savings and Loan, which is extending credit under a first and second mortgage in the amounts that are spelled out in the permitted mortgage agreement. And then subsequent to the closing, the SBA, Small Business Administration, will assume the second mortgage in the amount of $1,620,000. So what the permitted mortgage agreement you have in front of you authorizes both of those loans. After our review of the loan documents, we have concluded that it satisfies the terms and conditions of Article 7. They are both institutional lenders, as that term is defined. We also have reviewed the other aspect of this is both of these mortgages carry a 20-year term. The initial term of this ground lease, which is still going on, ends in 2029. But there is a provision for two extension terms of 10 years, exercisable by the lessee, and the lessee has provided us a document of its notice of intent to exercise those extension terms. So that will bring the term of the ground lease beyond the term of the mortgage, which is an important consideration. So after reviewing all the documents I've mentioned and the loan documents and the business plan, financial projections, and other documents provided to us by the proposed lessee, BMW Sports LLC, we have concluded that they have met all the requirements of the ground lease for an approval of an assignment, which is what brings us here today. Now, this transaction will not close today. There's still some work to be done between the BMW Sports and its lenders. But the town side of the transaction, if you approve this resolution, will be complete, and the closing can proceed whenever the other parties are ready to close.
Okay, Bob, thank you for covering the legal element of this transaction. And just for anybody watching who wants to understand what's going on, in plain terms, there's a group of local families that are interested in purchasing this facility, taking over the operations, and investing in it. And anyone who's been to the ISCC in the last, recent history knows that it's sorely in need of some very basic investment. So I think this is an exciting opportunity. I wanted to open it up to my colleagues for any questions or clarification. Sean?
Go ahead, Sean.
I was just going to say, Eric, I agree. Having worked there when I was a kid, I don't think there's been much done since I worked there, which is sad, but I'm excited about this new opportunity. And then from our duty today, from everything I just heard, there's no reason why we would withhold this approval. As Bob D said, there's essentially we're not allowed to impose new conditions. So I'm comfortable moving forward as presented.
And I wasn't sure if Jackie, go ahead.
I'm just excited to have local ownership and specifically these owners. I think that will be very beneficial for Simsbury.
And I was going to say, as a longtime hockey mom who hasn't been there since high school games, I don't think, I think that's a great move for this transfer or new purchaser to own the ISCC.
Yeah, Eric, I would add, I'm excited to move the ball forward, or the puck forward, if you will. And but having local ownership, I think, is a real positive, and I think this is a very good thing for the town. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. There's one clarification that I had in reading the documents, was that the current owner is paying $80,000 a year to the town in lieu of taxes. And I just wanted to confirm that there wouldn't be any change to that under this new agreement.
No, the lessee is required to meet all the terms and conditions of the existing ground lease. One of the aspects we look for in reviewing this, is there any attempt or intent to diminish the town's rights under the ground lease, which is not allowed. And no, everything that ISCC is doing in terms of benefiting the town, the BMW Sports would have to do the same.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Is there a motion effective November 12th, 2021 to adopt the attached resolution?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I heard Wendy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Okay. Thank you all, and Bob, thanks for your work, and
Sure.
We look forward to welcoming this this new ownership group. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Eric, just really quick, could we just say thanks to Tom Fitzgerald for coming in and hosting this meeting on his day off? Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Of course.
Yes, because if you had to rely on me for this technical stuff, we'd be on a conference call right now. So
Be a 5-page legal document, Bob.
that's right.
No, thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you all. Have a good weekend.
Did we vote on the adjournment? All in favor?
Sean did.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
You guys.
Have a good